Hello, and welcome to Birth Through the Veil. I'm Melissa Camrudin. I have taken an accidentally long break from posting here, and I'm really glad to be back and hopefully on a regular schedule. This week, Laura joins me to share her birth stories with you. So tell me, where does your mothering journey begin?
Well, it begins even before conception and before getting pregnant with my first baby. I found myself in a very unhealthy state post birth control pill. So mentally, emotionally, physically, I was a wreck. And I realized that that pill was just a poison. So I started a healing journey, and it took me down a lot of rabbit holes, health-wise, and I cleaned up my life from all endocrine disruptors and really detoxed my body and my mind, my emotions from the hormonal damage that the birth control did on me. And so when we got pregnant with our first, it was really easy for us. We didn't try for long, or we didn't really struggle. It just happened. And then I continued to dig deeper into health related topics, and mostly really a holistic approach of how the body works and how to achieve health and wellness. And so I focused on preparing myself for birth. And at the time, I read all the books I could about pregnancy, birth, and um, I did all the birth preparation on a physical, emotional, mental level. I looked into hypnobirthing, did some prenatal courses online. So I wanted to know everything about birth and pregnancy. I wanted to know the physiology of birth and how it happens naturally. And then I wanted to know about the birth interventions from the medical system and why they do them. What happens if you choose not to do them? What are your alternatives? I really wanted to know everything, and that is me. I'm already a very curious person. I like to know, and I was also raised with a surgeon as a dad, so I was kind of familiar with the medical system, and I knew at the time that I wanted something different than the way women are birthing in the system right now. And so I was already following my intuition and what felt right for me, and just being guided by also ancient wisdom of, I think, in a way, the mothers in my lineage were kind of guiding me as well towards returning to a deeper wisdom of how nature intended us to carry babies and birth babies and be mothers. So I was really digging deep into all of that with my first. And so her birth was actually kind of a funny story because I had planned a home birth. At the time, I chose to go with midwives because I found that they were the best of both worlds. I still wanted to be followed a little bit just in case, because it was my first, and I had read all the statistics and stuff. So I was prepared for that as well. And I had a good plan B in case I needed to be transferred to a hospital. And I trusted that the hospital was a good environment as well. And that was during COVID as well. It was 2021. And so I had doulas to assist me as well. And I had planned a water birth. The unexpected happened though. I was 38 weeks. And because of the statistics, I thought, well, my first baby won't come until 40 weeks plus. So I said to my husband, go ahead, go for a weekend with your friends, hiking, camping, So he did. And thankfully, that weekend, my friend came. She's kind of like my adopted mother. And we did a lot of meal preps together. And then the night before baby came, we went to an outdoor pool, and I was telling her I can feel a little pinch down there, in my cervix. So in hindsight, my body was totally getting ready for birth. I just didn't know at the time. So I go to bed that night, and I'm in bed, and then I feel my water break. And I was totally in denial then, because I wasn't sure that that was what it was. So I get up to pee, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. It's still leaking. So I text my doulas, and they're like, well, maybe your water break broke. And so by that time, I, accepted the idea that, well, yes, maybe my water broke and maybe I'm starting labor. So then the doulas helped me, they walked me through what to do, just drink, take snacks, and go back to bed and rest, which I did. And then I fell asleep. And then a few hours later, I woke up again to some contractions. And again, I was totally in denial, like, no, this is not happening. Like, oh, it's nothing, little cramps and stuff. And then it gradually accelerated and ramped up. And by 3 or 4 in the morning, I was on full on contractions. And I woke up my friend Magali, and and then I did tell the doula, okay, I think maybe you should come and help me. I was so determined. That's also part of my personality. Like, I can do it on my own, by myself. I'm strong enough. Like, no, but then I realized, okay, I do need help. Please come. So by the time the midwives came, I was already in full active labor. Um, and I was in the tub. The bloody show had already happened. And so the midwife said, well, I can't get to you in the bathtub because it was a small bathtub. So we moved on to the bed, and I gave birth to Skyla within a few hours. So it was a very short labor.
Yeah.
Again, I was so well prepared mentally, emotionally. I did also like a lot of acupuncture, massage, body talk, osteo, like you name it. And I was on all fours, and it was quite intense. Like, it is definitely a huge physical, you know, performance. Um, and in hindsight, I look back at the videos, and I had said to the midwife, like, I want you hands off, um, you know, and I refused all of the interventions in pregnancy. I said no to everything, like vitamin K shot, oxytocin. I didn't even want the midwife to check me to see how dilated I was, because I had read that there's no point in doing so. It doesn't really add anything to as information to me or the midwife. So I was like, no thanks. I don't want anybody's fingers in my vagina right now, right? Um, so yeah, it was very hands off, except at the moment of birth, they did help me like catch the baby and give it to me. And then I was on the bed, and they helped me deliver the placenta, and we did delayed cord clamping. The baby was on my chest and latched right away. Um, and they didn't stitch me. She asked me if I wanted to, and that was really important to me as well, like informed consent. And I think from the beginning with my midwives, I made it very clear, like, I want to know, and I want you to tell me what are my options, and then I decide, and then you know you you respect that. And they were very good at respecting those boundaries as well. So she told me, like, well, there's a bit of a tear, but and I could give you one stitch. And so I said to her, well, would it heal if you don't stitch me? And she said, yeah, it would be fine. So I said, okay, no thanks, right? So she didn't, she just left it. And then eventually my husband arrived when everything was said and done, and cleaned up. He arrived, and he took baby and skin to skin and all of that.
How
Nursing
many
was a
weeks
bit
were you?
challenging with 38. Yeah.
38. Yeah.
So
Okay.
technically, she
I
wasn't
mean,
early. She was right on time.
yeah. Yeah.
and
Mm. They
and she
always
was born
are.
around yeah, they have their own timing. And she was born around a
Right.
full moon.
Mm.
And at the time, my cycle was really regular because I had really balanced my hormones after the birth control, and my cycle was actually on time with the moon. Like I was
Oh,
ovulating
cool.
around the new moon or the full moon, and I
Hmm.
was getting my period around the new moon or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I had my baby around a full moon. And so the first few weeks, breastfeeding was a bit challenging, but I didn't want to give up. So I used some pumping as well as continuing nursing, um, even though it was so painful and sore. But eventually it worked out fine. And I continued
How long did
nursing
it
for
take
about
before it
13 months.
felt? Yeah. How long did it take before it felt
Well,
easeful?
yeah, I'd say at least 2 weeks. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a bit tricky. And in hindsight, I realized that it's because I guess I didn't have the right information. And it
Mm.
took me a while to remember as well, like how the mothers I had seen in my life breastfeed. Like I didn't see my grandmothers, but my sister, whatever. And you're like, oh yeah, of course, it's so easy. Like it's so natural and intuitive. But because I was struggling in the beginning, like the doulas and the midwives were trying to help and manage it. And so they
Yeah.
showed me like breastfeeding techniques. And then it was just such a mess. Like it was so complicated, and it didn't make sense to my brain. It was so confusing, but I
Hmm.
was trying to make it work. But also, like, probably my intuition deep down was like, no, this isn't right. And the baby was also all flustered because it's not working. And so eventually I hired a lactation consultant, and she
Mm.
came for 1 hour in my house. And I said to her, you're like a fairy godmother of breastfeeding, because in one
Mm.
hour, like everything changed. She gave
Mm.
me confidence in my body. She showed me how to do it just naturally, and she explained to me how it works and reassured me. And then I was like, oh, yeah, it's like something unlocked. And I realized
Mhm.
it is so natural and easy. Why are we trying to micromanage every
Yes.
little details and steps of what mothers do? Like when you should just reassure mothers and teach them again to trust their body and their intuition, and remind them of how nature does it thing perfectly, and just to go with it instead of trying to intervene and interfere and control and measure. And oh, all of that is just making it so painful, and just
Yeah.
adds to more problems. And then we wanted to manage those problems.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just, they call it the cascade of intervention in birth.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's just crazy.
Hmm.
So that was wonderful. It solved all my breastfeeding issues. And from then on, it was just natural and easy. And we co slept for almost a year. I nursed on demand. I never, tracked or calculated or restricted, or, again, it's all like control, control, control.
Hmm.
And you think, why? When
Yeah.
being a mother, creating life, birthing life, and sustaining life is all about being in your feminine energy,
Hmm.
which is flow, which is creativity, which is intuitive, natural, nurturing, loving, caring, all of that. And we try to add control and measures and limits and interventions and all of that, and that is very masculine. That
Hmm.
doesn't have its place in the for me, in my opinion anyways. It doesn't have its place in the motherhood journey, only if there are exceptions of like, okay, there is a problem, we're struggling here, we do need help. Okay,
Yeah.
then some measures of that need to be brought on. But just let women be women in their whole femininity, right?
Yes.
um, so that was my first birth. And we kind of joked about it, my husband and I, that he says, I didn't miss the birth, I just wasn't there. And I used to say, like, well, I didn't really need him anyways, because men are useless in birth. Like, it's all about us, giving birth in our power, and um, what can they do, right? It's my body. I can do it on my own, right? And then my second birth, she's also a girl, also born around a full moon at around 38 weeks, actually 38 weeks exactly, on exactly the day that we thought she would be born. Um,
Mm.
so that was really cool. I think I was able to even more tap into my intuition and follow that in the whole journey. We also got pregnant really fast, or really easy. Um, and she was born at home. We had moved to Vernon at the time, just before giving birth. And so, in transferring to the interior, I couldn't get midwives here. So, I was fully prepared to free birth. And I had done all the research again, and I bought more books about free birthing, and I bought some supplies as well. So, we were ready to do it on our own. And then last minute, a friend of mine was like, hey, I know a midwife. She could probably take you on. And I thought, okay, why not? Because the afterbirth is the part that I felt less comfortable about. And I thought I do think I need some support there. Because really, we're not really meant to do this alone.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I think I would have probably sought out a birth keeper instead of a midwife. Um, but I just, didn't know all about that then. So, anyways, baby was born super quick. It was half an hour
Did you have the
labor,
midwife?
and no, she didn't make it actually.
Oh.
Which I like to say that it was a unintentional, intentional choice,
Yeah.
because I texted the doula, and they barely made it on time. Like, when they got here, I was already in the tub, and her head was crowning. So then she was born so quickly. I caught her myself when she was born in the water. It was actually really cool because I felt her body move inside of me. After her head was born, I felt the shoulder rotation inside, and then the ejection reflex. And she came out really quick. And then I caught her myself and put her on my chest. And then we decided to. Baby's with me.
Noise. Yeah.
We decided to get out of the tub, and I got onto the bed, and then the placenta was obviously still attached. And the doulas asked me, like, well, do you want to call the midwife? And I thought, okay, sure, because the delivering the placenta was a little tricky for me. So she arrived and helped me with the placenta, and then we waited a little longer to clamp it and cut it. And then she, took care of all the afterbirth stuff, like weighing the baby, measuring it, blah blah blah, the paperwork, and then the doulas helped clean up and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was helpful. Um, and then with my last baby, who's now 3 months old here, we found out it was a boy. And even before knowing he was a boy, I knew it was totally different from the beginning. So I knew it was a boy. And not
What was
only
different?
um, everything felt different. I had more nausea in the morning. I carry it differently. It felt different. The little pins and aches were different as well. And also, this time around, I wanted to tap into more of the spiritual aspect of birth. And so I really connected more with my intuition, and um, just preparing for birth in a very spiritual way. And then the fact that I was carrying a boy, I don't know, something inside of me was shifting. And at the time, it was December, and I recorded our last episode we did a workshop series on the laws of the universe. And the last
Mm.
law was the law of gender, the divine feminine and divine masculine. So I really learned a lot about that, and it really stayed with me. And then I started to see how it applies to the birthing process, and how, well, I'm a woman embodying the feminine energy, yet because of my own experiences, I've had to embody more of the masculine up until now. And so
Mm.
I was wanting to tap into more of the feminine energy, um, and embody that more deeply. And yet I'm carrying a boy, birthing a boy. And so also like the birthing process being very much a creative process where the feminine energy has to come in full bloom and express itself freely, intuitively flowing, and being very chaotic too, because the feminine energy can be so chaotic and birth can be so unpredictable. And yet we have to allow that freedom. And so that's the feminine energy that I'm embodying for birthing this new life. And then how the masculine energy fits into that I need to birth freely and safely. I need a container, a safe container that is
Mhm.
provided by the masculine, and that protects the environment and my birth space, and that if needed uses its power and its strength, his strength and his might, to hold that space for me and to guard it. And so that
Mhm.
is the role of my husband. And so in that experience I realized I do need my husband to birth my babies, because I came from
Mm.
my first birth, he missed it, and I was like, "Phew, I don't need him," to now here's my third birth, and I'm really tapping into how the feminine and masculine fit together to create life. And I'm realizing that yes, they do have a role, and it's very important and very much needed. And so the midwives also missed this birth, because he was even quicker than my last. He was less than half an
Mm.
hour. So it was just me and my husband, and one of our kids
Mm.
woke up. And so he helped me, but also he was very calm and quiet, and just being present and just having that
Yeah.
presence of groundedness is reassuring. And yeah, and that's all we needed. And I feel like sometimes maybe in a different setting, when you're not at home, when you're in the hospital, the the father is often like put to the side,
Mhm.
and then the medical professional takes that place of managing and wanting to control, and creating that safety for the mother. And it has its place. Sometimes we do need the professional to intervene and help when needed. But we don't want to rob the father of that role where he can embody his masculine in being present and creating that space of protecting and providing safety and comfort,
Mm.
and really guarding the birth space. And so that's really important to me now. And I'm so glad that I experienced it, so I could learn from that. um, so the doulas didn't make it to the birth either, because there was a snowstorm that night, and
Mm.
it took her a while to get here. So she arrived, and baby was already in my arms on my chest. Um, and again, he was born so quickly. Like I didn't have the even have the ring of fire that I had with my first. Like the head was born so fast, and then the ejection reflex. And then I remember, because I was squatting in the pool, and I remember telling my husband, like, Lane, catch him, because he literally like popped out of my body, and I was squatting, so I couldn't see him. He just went behind me, and so I turned around, and there he is floating under the water, and I just grabbed him and put him on my chest, and I was fine. And then I had a lot of pain. So with my first, it felt like a lot of back labor, and my sacrum really popped. In hindsight, now I know what I would have done to help that, like apply more pressure on the sacrum and the lower back and stuff. But anyways, you know what you know at the time. Um, my second was almost pain free. It was intense, like the contractions in the front were intense, but because you breathe through them and the hormones help you get through them, and also it doesn't last more than a few minutes. It wasn't that bad. My last one, there was way more pressure and pain in my back. Like I could really feel it in my sacrum and tailbone. Something was really shifting, and it could have been its position or whatnot. But it was quick and intense and efficient. And so then after he was born, I was trying to sit in the pool and finding a comfortable position, and I just couldn't because of the achiness. And so I decided to move out of the pool, because for this birth I had prepared better for the birthing of the placenta, and I had decided I wanted to birth the placenta myself without any assistance. And I thought, oh, maybe I could birth it in the water, because I had read it's easier, but that didn't work because it was just not comfortable. And by that time, I had said to my husband, okay, you can call the midwives. Um, just because it's always reassuring to have someone there that knows about birth and has experience with it. Because you can't think of all of it yourself, and especially after birth, you're kind of in a different headspace, and you haven't landed back in your body yet. So the midwives came and they assessed the blood in the pool, and so we decided to get out. And so she helped me deliver the placenta. I was just squatting on the floor, and I actually just kind of tugged on the cord, and when it was ready, it just dropped into a bowl. And then we moved on to the bed, and yeah, we waited quite a long time before clamping the cord. And my firstborn cut the cord with the help of my husband. Um, and then we kept the placenta to take some pictures and do some placenta art after with my doula. And yeah, baby was super efficient at crawling on my chest and finding the nipple right away. He latched on. Um, and then with my other, yeah, both our kids were awake, so we were all together in the bed. And then we all went to bed very late that morning. It was 3 or 4. We all went back to bed. And yeah, the doulas helped clean up, which is so nice. So yeah, I really loved giving birth at home, which is the best place to give to give birth if you have a safe environment in your home and the space to do it. Because then I just stayed in bed, and this last birth and my third birth, I decided I want to stay in bed for at least a week, not do anything. And it's more challenging when you have 2 toddlers, but my husband was amazing at helping with the meals and the girls, and he brought me all my meals in bed. And so I did stay in bed for a week, which was wonderful. And then I gradually moved out of the bedroom, and then made it downstairs. Um, yeah, so then the midwives come to your home for visits, which means that you don't have to leave your house, and just protect that mother baby connection as long as you can, and also just resting and healing at home. Yeah, I definitely did some meal preps. I could have done more. I was just quite busy with 2 little toddlers. But yeah, I did have some meal in the freezer, and I stocked up my fridge and my pantry. Um, I made sure that I had all the herbal remedies that I needed, the tinctures, the homeopathic remedies for afterbirth healing,
Mm.
essential oils, teas, snacks, very important, the snacks, and electrolytes and water bottle and all of that. Um, and then after a week, we did ran out of the meals that I had prepped because I definitely could have done more. But
Mm.
anyways, we figured it out. I gave my husband instructions on what to do, what to make, and he did a fantastic job. Um, yeah, so I don't have my mom or my sisters close because I'm from Europe, and he doesn't have his siblings or parents close either. So yeah, we had each other, and
Mhm.
we managed. And yeah, it was also a matter of keeping healthy boundaries with my other two
Mhm.
toddlers and realizing my needs and vocalize them in um, a kind and healthy way as well. Because
Mhm.
you do get overstimulated, um, you know, over touched and too much sounds, and it's just so busy with two little ones that were so excited about their little brother and wanted to touch him, see him, and help me, which they're great little helpers. But sometimes you do need your space, especially after birth. You just want to be alone with
Mhm.
baby and find yourself again. So I had to realize that that was a need that I had, and then voice it and tell my husband, okay, can you please take the girls out of the house for a few hours so I can just be me with baby
Mhm.
and have some peace and quiet. And yeah, so he did that. And asking for help as well, because we can't do this on our own. And I
Yeah,
have
it's a
a
village.
tendency to it takes a village, and you have to build your own village if you or don't already have one.
Yeah.
Often it's your own family that is there, but like I said, we're kind of like um, by ourselves here. So you have to find your village and build it. And um, I tend to want to do everything on my own and think like I'm strong enough, like I can do this, it's okay. But then we do need help, and it's up to me to realize it and to accept it and to ask. And it could be like sometimes a pride thing where,
Mhm.
oh, I don't need help, I can do this on my own. No, I actually do need help, and it's okay, and I can ask for help, and there are people that are willing to help.
Mhm.
And so we did, I did. And it's actually amazing where the help comes from when you do ask.
Mhm. It's not what you think.
um,
Mhm.
no, yeah, so that was, yeah, very important to learn.
It's like
um
even if we
I
can, like if we can do it by ourselves, like should we? Do we need to? Is that the best?
No, we
Like
don't.
there's Mhm.
We're not meant to do this alone. And
Yeah.
that's one lesson that I had to learn as well, is that even professionally, like I want to, I want to become an acupuncturist, I want to become a herbalist, I want to become a birth
Mm.
doula, I want to become like all these things that I'm so interested in, but I can't do it all. I don't have the time,
Yeah.
I don't have the energy to do it all. Like I still need to sleep and be with my family. So what if you don't have to do it all by yourself? What if you can actually ask for help and find people that are specialized in all these areas? And by having them in your life and supporting each other with our own gifts, then that enriches us, because now there's way more in, that expression, like there's more in two brains than in one. Well, it's not just about that. Like now I get to meet new people and share our gifts and exchange services, and then it just grows more knowledge and wisdom and just sharing the love. Like it's so enriching, and then you build a community, and there's such a rich community here in Vernon, and a
Mhm.
lot of like-minded people when it comes to health and wellness and even spirituality. So yeah, I've really enjoyed broadening my horizon, and I'm excited to meet more people that are wanting to create the same life for themselves.
Yeah, I love that. What kind of homeopathy and herbs did you stock for your birth and postpartum?
So
Do you
I'm just
remember?
learning about homeopathic remedies, but the one
Mm.
that really helped me and I'm still using is arnica.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, I took a lot of arnica even before giving birth because there was a lot of aches and pains in my
Hmm.
pelvis area. So that one really helped.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I would say that was my main one. I'm sure there's
Hmm.
other
That's a good
great
one.
ones that I, yeah, don't know about yet. But yeah, and essential oils were very much part of my
Mm.
whole journey as well. And I love herbal remedies, so like tinctures,
Hmm.
teas. I make my own teas as well. I
Hmm.
love buying all the ingredients and kind of like concocting
Yeah.
a little magical potion.
Yep.
So yeah, getting all the support you can from nature.
Yes, I love that too. I love herbs and tinctures and all that as well. And I'm just getting more into homeopathy and I just find it fascinating. So interested in what's working for other
Yeah.
people. Another thing I wanted to
Hmm.
ask you is you talked about in this pregnancy, just really connecting to the spirituality of pregnancy and your intuition. And I was wondering, what are the tangible things you did to connect there? What worked for you?
Yeah, so I'm a body talk practitioner. So I've been doing body talks even before getting pregnant. And so I do sessions on myself, but I also get sessions with other practitioners. And just doing more meditations as well. Like I did some hypnobirthing with, especially with my first.
Hmm.
So often they're like pre recorded, like guided meditations.
Yep.
Um, I did a lot of journaling, and then just listening to some music. For me, it helps me connect to my emotions. And so in that last, in my last pregnancy, I had a lot of moments where, I get in the zone, like whether it was driving or doing the dishes, and I get these downloads of information or ideas,
Mm.
and then waves of emotions that get come through my body, and this huge release of like I find myself crying and bawling for like things,
Mm.
and I'm like, wow, what is happening? And there was definitely like also like things aligning in the stars and stuff. Like we've had a few
Yeah.
heavily energetic shifts happening in the last few months. So all of that compiled together, there was a lot of shifts within me, and I just allowed for all of it. And
Mm.
I've been also doing some somatic work with a therapist and just helping reconnecting with my body and uh, being comfortable with feeling even the pain, because we tend to
Hmm.
want to avoid the pain and numb it and suppress it, but the pain carries lessons, and um, just sitting with it and allowing it and accepting it, and wow, it's quite transformational because you don't want to hold the pain or hide it in your body. You want to feel it and release
Hmm.
it. And um, yes, it is physical. It is always emotional. But spiritually, it's also about getting in that flow of life. Um, like we're not meant to um, stay stuck at a certain point and comfortably establish
Hmm.
ourselves there. We're meant to evolve and grow, and that
Hmm.
brings discomfort, pain, and some kind of suffering, but it's part of the journey. So it's all interconnected. We can't talk about the spiritual without talking about the mental, emotional, physical, because we're
Yeah.
we're a
It's
whole
the same.
being on. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
all connected.
Yes, thank you for that. I love how you talk about having the moments while you're driving or doing dishes, and it's like those monotonous, repetitive tasks that actually can
Mm-hmm.
sometimes like launch us into the altered states where we can find the wisdom and intuition and connection to our
Yeah.
spirituality. I don't know if you're familiar with Wapio. Do you have you looked at her
No.
work? Oh, you got to connect with her. She's amazing. I'm doing a year-long course with her
Okay.
right now,
Well.
and she's wonderful. But she talks about altered states, how when we're pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
it like pulls us into a little bit of a different state, right? We're a little bit removed from the here and now. And I think we call that pregnancy
Yes.
brain in our culture and kind of like mock it, but
Mm.
it's for a purpose. Like we're fetching a soul from the
Mm-hmm.
stars. We're growing a whole
Right.
human. And then when we're in labor and birth, we like drop deeper and deeper into these altered states of consciousness. And another thing
Mm-hmm.
she says is like, as a like grandmas change the world, like rocking in their rocking chairs sitting on their porch and just like entering those altered states and allowing it to flow through them. And
Mm.
that's just what I heard there when you talked about like when I'm driving, when I'm doing dishes, when those like
Yes.
soft, gentle, monotonous tasks are happening and your
Mm-hmm.
mind can just sort of float. You can find
Mm-hmm.
your
Absolutely.
peace, your wisdom, your spirituality, all of that there.
Mm-hmm.
I love
And when you try
that.
to force it and make it happen, it doesn't
Hmm.
happen. It has to
Yeah.
be naturally flowing and it has to be felt.
Hmm.
You can't think your way into it. You have to feel it.
Right.
And
It's not
so
from
I love what
brainwaves. It's
you.
not from intellect.
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
No, and yet, like science now is catching up to those facts that
Hmm.
they can actually measure the brain waves, and they do change in birth. And I call that the birth portal, and
Yes.
it opens
Hmm.
months before you actually give birth, and it closes gradually after birth. And I still feel like I'm in that zone
Yeah.
still. But yeah, what you said is very much spiritual in that sense that you do kind of leave your body, like you're here, but you're not really here present in the physical
Hmm.
realm. You're in a higher state of consciousness already. Like you said,
Hmm.
probably your soul fetching your soul, the soul of your baby, or and then in birth there's that portal that's very much open, like you open up
Hmm.
your pelvis, but your consciousness through your third eye is very much open as well,
Hmm.
because the spirit comes through, and then there's a very deep connection with God and the creator, because you're being a creative vessel, you're being the creator you're being a co-creator with the creator
Hmm.
to create this new
Yes.
life, and it's so profound. And I feel like this has been overlooked or forgotten, and we're not paying enough attention, or there's not enough emphasis on this side of the motherhood journey. And it's so important because when you tap into it, it's so transformational and it's so healing at such a deep level that I can't even explain what it's
Hmm.
done to me. And it's still, continuing the work within. It's just magical.
It's birthing you as a mother too. Every time in every birth, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
you're rebirthed as a
Yes.
mother and as the mother that you need to be for the child that's come and for the children you already have, like whatever stage you need to move into. And part of that, I think, is like the download you get in those altered states when you're in birth.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And wow, it's you as much preparation as I did with my first. I think you can never fully get prepared for what's coming,
Yeah.
and that's okay. I had to accept that too, let go and surrender to the whole process, because that's life. You
Hmm.
do need a certain amount of preparation, but then there's a time where you need to let go, surrender, and accept, and just allow the process to happen, and let it flow. And then
Hmm.
um, that's where the magic happens, actually, because there's things that will happen that you didn't expect, and you can label them as good or bad, but there is something to learn in that. And within that experience, there's growth. And today, I'm definitely not the same person I was 5 years ago before having kids. And I'm so glad for it. I don't want to bounce back. I don't want to return to the
Hmm.
person I was before, whether
Yeah.
physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. I'm so glad that this is who I am now. And there's going to be more growth, more evolution. And so, for example, um, I've started to do some pelvic floor physio, and there's a lot of repair work to do after birth, especially after 3 pregnancies. Like I've had 3 babies within 4 years, so they're quite close together. And I already had some, physical imbalances before that. So now, with the impact of pregnancy and birth on my body, I'm really doing some deep reparation work on a physical level, which is tied to the emotional and mental and the spiritual aspect of me as well, which I'm very much tapping into as well. And so my mindset now is, I don't want to bounce back and go back to the body I had before. This is actually an opportunity for me to get better, get stronger, because of the experiences I went through, because of the relaxing I still have in my body, I have this open window, this great opportunity to mold my body in a way that is stronger and healthier and more balanced. And I wouldn't have had that if I didn't have kids. So forget it. The Laura that was before kids, she's gone. And I have to accept that too. Let her go. Grieve that if you need to. And there is a grieving process in the birthing, the motherhood journey as well. And then fully embracing the new versions of me that are coming with grace and kindness and love.
Yes. Oh, thank you. I love your story. Thank you for sharing. Tell me, how can people connect with you or work with you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram through Laura_health journey. And I have a website as well, laurahealthjourney.com. So I do body talk sessions online or in person if you're in Vernon. And I do also raindrop massages. And I've just started offering birth coaching, birth keeping sessions as well, and mother blessing ceremonies with my friend Sherilyn. So that's another thing that I did this time around with my last baby, tapping into the more spiritual aspect of birth, is organizing with my friend Sherilyn a mother blessing ceremony for myself when I was 37 weeks pregnant. And then we did also a closing of the bone ceremony. I think it was a month postpartum. And that was like a circle of women together. Like my mom was there for the closing of the bones, and my adoptive mom. And it was very, very spiritual and so profound and so healing for the soul. So yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay, well, I'll put those details in the show notes. And thank you again for sharing your story.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Thanks for listening. You can head to Instagram and birth.throughtheveil to see birth pictures or just pictures from each episode. The show notes have links and more ways to connect, along with the link to submit your birth story. I would love to hear it. New episodes of Through the Veil come out every other Tuesday. You can follow, subscribe, share, rate, and review this podcast to be in support. Until next time.